Okay, today I got my mom and dad's 2001 Tahoe. Believe it or not, they bought this brand new in 2001. It's got about 89,000 miles on it right now. I'm gonna get out of the wind here. Nothing major has been done to this. No brakes. Nothing. I don't believe anything's been done to it except for the rims and tires. I put the 20s on there. I believe it was back in 2008. I put these factory 20s on there for them. Oh yeah, and the color match door handles. And then I took off some of the badges. Took some of the badges off. It's pretty good shape. I mean, there is no rust on the thing. There are a few door dings down the side. Nothing a little paintless dent repair couldn't fix on this. Why am I doing a video of it? Actually, we've got a new set of wheels for this, just to kind of update the look, to kind of bring it up. I'm going to do a few other things to this. Again, just to kind of bring the look up a little bit. You can see there is one more ding there, and that's the bumper's been pushed in. My ma's grandson actually backed into that. So that'll be addressed too here shortly. So I suppose you're probably wondering what kind of wheels am I putting on here. Well, here they are. These are American Racing torque thrusts. These are the Gunmetal. This is a 20x8.5 with a 30 plus 30 millimeter offset, which puts it at 6 inches of back spacing. Which should be exactly what the factory is, or pretty darn close to what the factory is. You can see that without the flares, the factory tires are just right on the edge, which is perfect, which is right where they should be if you don't have flares. You know, if they had flares on here, you would want a different offset. You'd want the tires to stick out a little further, kind of like mine. I got more of an offset because the flares, so it pushes the tires out. But there's no flares on this, so I went with the factory offset, or close to a factory offset. Tires on here are actually Bridgestone dualers. The HL Alenza. These are what they're putting on factory Tahoes and Suburbans, and people are getting like 70,000 miles out of them. So they're a good tire. Got it online and got a great price for these things. Got a good deal from my dad, and picked these up. Just got the rims today. We've had the tires for a while. Dad went and got them mounted, so they are ready to be bolted on. I think they're going to look great on there. That torque thrust is awesome. Actually, if I would have found these before I ordered mine, I probably would have ordered these for mine, but I guess I'll let him have the torque thrust. But enough babbling. Let's get this thing on the hoist and get some new wheels on it. Okay, we're getting close. It's on the ground. Wheels have been torqued. Torqued to 140 foot-pounds. Yes, that is in the manual. That is a torque spec. It's not a recommendation and then you go with whatever you feel like going with or what you think it should go with. A torque spec is a torque spec. These wheels are to be torqued at 140 foot-pounds. So that's what I did. Also did an oil change while it was up in the air. Did a grease job. I believe I have done every grease job this car has had. Dad might have done a couple of them, but I've done the rest of them. Got to get the center cap on. That is just, I don't know what, there's 6 bolts there, 6 little bolts. I'm guessing they're Allen head again. And these are just chrome lugs. These are 14 millimeter. I actually had them lugs from previous trucks. So we saved about 40 bucks there. I have confirmed that these are the OE offset. So the OE is must be about 30 millimeter, a positive 30 millimeter with 6 inches of back spacing. That must be a factory 20. So they're gonna look just like the factory ones. I think they look awesome. Once I get it out, I'll get some pictures, but I think they're gonna look awesome. It gives it that muscle car look. Classic wheel. I was gonna go with some newer wheels on this, something they put on the brand new body styles, but everything on the new body styles is so boxy and squarish, and nothing about this truck is squarish. So that's why I wanted to go a different route with this. These torque thrusts, I think, are smooth everywhere. They're rounded, fit this body style perfect. So I'm going to get these center caps on, and well, I can't pull it out and get pictures now because you can see it's It's dark out, but tomorrow I'll get some pictures and maybe some video of it. Well, here's a look at the center caps. They look like they're just polished aluminum. I don't think there's a clear coat on them. So I might have to clear these before winter, because if them are just regular polished aluminum, they will never make it through the winter. Here's the little bolts. There's 6 of them, little Allen head, and you get the little Allen wrench to stick them on. So I'm going to get to sticking these babies on. Okay, so I thought I was done, or almost done with this install, and I run into a problem. These center caps, the bolts that hold them on, for some reason, are giving me trouble. I started out with this one and I messed around with it for, I don't know, half hour trying to get those little Allen head bolts inside the deal, and I turn them all in by hand because I don't want to cross thread these little tiny bolts. I believe they're stainless bolts, and there's a little steel insert that is pressed into the hole of the wheel. Well, what's happening is, before the center cap gets tight, the little bolts are getting so tight that they're getting jammed up in there, and you can't turn them with a little Allen. And if you could turn them, you're just gonna get them jammed up, and they're gonna be stuck in there, and you're gonna totally ruin the threads. So what I'm having to do, I did it to the front one and I did it to that rear one, is I'm having to tap these out with a tap, because I'm not sure what American Racing thought they were doing here. I don't know if it's kind of tapered inside these, so that when you do get them on so far, they kind of get locked on so they don't fall out. If that was their concept, they totally failed at it, because you can't get the center cap tight before the bolt gets all bound up. So I'm having to do that to all the little holes that hold the cap on. And you can see, I'll try to get it close up. You can see it's like an insert, a steel insert that's been pressed in there. And I don't know if they pressed it in there. They screwed up the threads in the back. It'll go on. You can start it by hand and it'll go in so far, but then it gets jammed up. And if you force it, I wrecked the threads on some of the bolts. So what I had to do there was I used this deal here and run the bolts through the tap here, or the chaser, I'm not sure, whatever you want to call that. So I had to fix a few bolts running it through here. That was on that back wheel, the first one I started with. I was trying to run them in, back them out, run them in, back them out, trying to get it to go in. It's not gonna happen. It ain't gonna happen. You're gonna have to tap these out. So I've got the rest of the bolts here. I'm gonna run my tap through them before I put the caps on there, and this should go smooth now. But it's just a little disappointing that American Racing would put out a product like that. It's really disappointing. I should have been able to just screw them on and no problem, but that's not the case. It seems to be not the case with a lot of products, which is kind of getting disappointing. So I'm going to tap these out and then put the caps on. Okay, I got a little blaster on my tap, and you want to make sure when you're doing something like this that you do not cross the threads on this tap, because this tap will cut new threads and then you won't have any threads left at all, and then you're going to be in trouble. So it's very important that if you're cleaning out threads that you get it on there, you get it in the threads and not cross-threaded. It looks like I might have had two bad wheels, because all these bolts are coming out clean. So I'm not having to cut anything. The tap's just going in super easy, and I'm not really cutting any threads. So I got a feeling that I had they sent me two bad wheels out. Okay, I've got all my holes tapped. Some of them were probably good. Other ones definitely needed to be tapped. After you get done tapping a hole, you always want to clean it out because there's debris in there. I'm just using the air hose to blow the debris out so I don't get my bolt jammed up with debris. I'm also putting a little bit of anti-seize on these bolts before I stick them in. It might be, these bolts I'm guessing are stainless, and that insert might be stainless too. I really don't know if that's a steel insert. If it's a steel insert, it's probably a good idea to put a little bit of anti-seize on these. Probably not going to take these off very often, but if they ever balance them, this has got to come off to balance tires. So you're going to want these probably to come out easy when they do come out, because they are a very tiny little Allen head, and that would be easily stripped out if there's any kind of resistance. Okay, wheels are all on. Went for a test drive. They seem to drive a lot better than the other ones. They're both Bridgestone tires, but I'm not sure what those other ones are. But they were pretty old actually, so probably not a fair comparison. Old tires and new tires, and they were wore out. Front ones were wore out, but it seems to ride really nice with these new tires on. Tire size, I think I forgot to say, but they're 275, 55, 20s. Same thing I put on my truck. I would be outside doing this final shot, but it's so darn windy that I had to do it in here. I'm going to get some pictures and I'll post them up so you can get a good look at the rims and tires on the truck. Done with the wheels and tires. I will be bringing this back and doing a few other things to it. I'm not sure exactly when, but it will be coming back. So this is the end of this video, guys. Hope you enjoyed the install, and I'll see you in the next one.
Worked all week, cleaned up, clean cut, and clean shaved. I got the cover off the 68. I fired it up and let them horses sing a little.